When I first created Casuals Only, my goal was just to talk hoop. I wanted a place where I can talk basketball and just give my initial thoughts on different topics throughout the NBA. Well, here's a topic that I want to talk about because it just happened. Kyle Kuzma and Khris Middleton pretty much flipped for each other. The Bucks are trading Khris Middleton, AJ Johnson, in a pick swap to the Wizards for Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin, and second round draft compensation. Giving up a pick swap in a trade for Kyle Kuzma is probably not the thing you really want to do, but in my opinion, I think people are overreacting to this. As someone who has been vocally outward about my dislike for players like Julius Randle, Kyle Kuzma, players who I don't think offer or play winning basketball. They don't do the things on the court extra that you need in order to win basketball games. They take bad shots and they've always played for themselves, in my opinion. I do think that this move is actually somewhat beneficial. And also, let me just say this. AJ Johnson going to Washington, somewhere where he can play. Hopefully they'll play him somewhere where that he can play and have zero consequences. Go out there and you're not expected to win any games. I love that because AJ Johnson is a player I was super excited to come into the season and watch, and he just hasn't gotten ticked because the Bucks are trying to be good at basketball. Now, the big points in this trade are obviously Kyle Kuzma and Khris Middleton, and here's the main reason I think that this trade actually benefits Milwaukee, and I think Milwaukee can be happy with Kyle Kuzma. I don't know how much better of a player you're going to get to replace Khris Middleton, especially if you're not trying to give up anything outside of AJ Johnson in a pick swap and you're very limited on what you can do at the deadline. I think that this is actually a move that can help you, but here's why. So since their championship season, Khris Middleton has had one season over 66 games played. So since then, here's 101 games, add 66 to that, you're 167 games in the last 4 years. Kyle Kuzma since then in the last 4 years, 66, 64, 70, 32. Already so many more games played than Khris Middleton. So what I'm trying to say is the fact that Kyle Kuzma will actually be on the court. Having Khris Middleton is fun, but Khris Middleton not playing doesn't do anything for you. So when you have somebody out there who will be playing basketball, that's already just an upgrade over what you already had. And I think Kuzma's shooting 28% from three, 5 attempts, which is a career low for him. I think playing next to Giannis and getting good looks in an offense that is trying to win, or on a team that is trying to win, an offense that is trying to generate like a net positive offense, I think that alone will help Kyle Kuzma. He's going to get back into a system where playing games actually matters, where like in Washington, whatever he did out there didn't matter. He already had a quote. What was this quote? This was posted like 10 days ago in the NBA subreddit. Kuzma made his comments after the Wizards lost to the Phoenix Suns 119-109. He scored a season high 30 points on 12 of 24 shooting from the field, tied a season high with 11 rebounds, and also added 4 assists. I think today I just decided to be myself and not really try to fit into everything that we're doing here, and I just really played in the moment. Down here he says, I think I've tried to help the young guys build confidence and do their thing. I think today I was just really the most assertive I have been all year. So like I was saying, I don't think Kuzma has been playing what we know Kuzma can be. He's an NBA championship. And like I've already said, I'm one of the biggest Kuzma, I wouldn't say haters, but somebody who doesn't love the brand of basketball that Kyle Kuzma plays. I think he can actually provide something for the Bucks. And like I've already mentioned, that's in games played. You're just going to have more reps of him out there. I think him shooting 28% this season is an anomaly. It's the lowest of his career. His next lowest was 30%, but he's been a decent 3-point shooter. I think the offense he provides is good enough to replace Khris Middleton. And I think just the option of Kyle Kuzma is better than the option of what Khris Middleton is right now. I think if you get him playing winning basketball and in somewhere he can thrive, he can play next to Giannis. He can get good looks next to Giannis and Dame. He's not forcing shots. He's not the only guy in offense that can score anymore other than like Jordan Poole like he was in Washington. I think this move is a net positive in my opinion because they're trying to win now. If it's for the future, I wouldn't say this is a net positive by any means. Maybe AJ Johnson is the better future move, I guess, but they haven't seen enough from him to even consider what he could be in the future, right? So I think this is a positive for the Bucks. I think this is a W for the Bucks, and that's coming from somebody who just doesn't like the way that Kyle Kuzma plays basketball. I think just getting more games, more time, more tick, more everything from Kuzma than what you've gotten from Khris Middleton over the last 2 years or so, 3 years. Like, I think that's just in general a better option. Khris Middleton's shooting 40% from three, but he's played 23 games this year. 12 points per game. I mean, it's a toss-up. I didn't realize Khris Middleton was only 4 years older than Kyle Kuzma, though. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That's my initial reactions. It sucks that Khris Middleton is going to rot away in Washington, but that's what happens when you can't stay on the court and you have just a ginormous contract. Also, we didn't even talk about the contract stuff. So Khris Middleton is on contract for the next 2 seasons, or I guess this season and next season, and then he's a free agent in 2026, 27. Kyle Kuzma, 23, 21, 19. Still not a terrible I mean, you're not paying 33 million anymore, but you do have that extra season on top of it. But maybe Kuzma plays to his value and that he ends up helping the Bucks. I don't know. I guess the contract situation isn't as great as I thought. I do remember Kuzma signing recently, but no team option, no player option. I mean, it looks like Khris Middleton did have a player option. He was going to pick this up anyways. It's 34 million that you're paying him instead of 21 million that you'd be paying Kyle Kuzma. So you're saving yourself $13 million for a player who, I mean, averages more points, plays more games, is probably more reliable just to be on the court in general. Obviously, I think Giannis and Khris Middleton had that connection with each other, but those are my initial reactions. This trade isn't that big in general. It's just, I've seen a lot of people talking down on the trade and saying that the Bucks are going to lose or they lost the trade because they got Kyle Kuzma. And like I've already mentioned plenty of times, I'm not the biggest Kyle Kuzma fan, but I think just playing games, they always say availability is the best ability. Being able to be on the court is the best ability. With Khris Middleton being 33 years old or whatever he is, and he has another year, you're going to pay him $34 million next year. He's going to be 35. Like, his body already can't keep up. He's gone through injury problems throughout his entire career, specifically since they won the championship. Like, this is just a move where you can get somebody to play basketball for your team. Really, at the end of the day, it's just somebody that can go out there and play. Those are my initial thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Kyle Kuzma, Khris Middleton traded for each other. Casuals only. I'm out. Deuces. Probably not the last time I'll talk to you guys today either, or through the next couple days, because the trade deadline is tomorrow. And so there's a lot of stuff ramping up right now. The Pistons got KJ Martin today. So, I mean, that's cool. If we get Lonzo, you'll hear from me though. Deuces.